city leadership is discussing changes to police policies after a SWAT officer killed Amir Locke during a raid last week. In the days since, thousands have protested, demanding changes to the city's no-knock warrant procedures. Tonight, a group gathered near Lake of the Isles for a protest outside what they say is interim police chief Amelia Huffman's home. They demanded she resign. Governor Tim Walz says he supports moves by other states to ban no-knock warrants. WCCO's Adam Duxter spoke with the experts advising Minneapolis leadership on policy changes.
Police search warrant! Police search warrant!
Like many, Deray Mckesson had a strong reaction to seeing this.
Well, this was avoidable. There are different decisions that could have been made to get whatever information they thought they were seeking.
And in the wake of Amir Locke's death at the hands of Minneapolis police during a no-knock raid this past week, the city is now asking the nationally recognized activist to help reshape its policy when it comes to no-knock warrants. A practice he says wasn't necessary for the investigation at Bolero Flats.
The vast majority of people, if they see a group of police officers outside, they will comply with the request.
The city is also asking Dr. Kraska, a professor of police studies at Eastern Kentucky, to help. Following the death of Breonna Taylor, also during a no-knock raid in 2020, Kraska helped Louisville create Breonna's Law. And like Mckesson, he says most times no-knock warrants aren't needed.
Are there extreme circumstances that might warrant it? Absolutely. There may be a human trafficking situation. There may be a serial rapist situation.
The two are sharing with WCCO their new policy proposals for Minneapolis. That includes limiting no-knock raids to only the most necessary incidents, while also creating a requirement where MPD would need to explain why one is necessary and why a knock warrant wouldn't be sufficient. Then there's the change Mckesson said would have made the biggest difference in the case of Amir Locke.
There should be at least, at the minimum, a 30-second wait between when the officer announces their presence and when there might be any forced entry.
And while some call for Mayor Jacob Frey to resign amidst concerns he misled what he'd already done to limit no-knock warrants, Mckesson says what's most important is for change to happen.
I think that people are tired of rhetoric. I think that people want to see deep structural change happen swiftly.
Those conversations will begin tomorrow. In the meantime, the city of Minneapolis will remain in a moratorium for no-knock warrants. To view the policy proposals in full, you can visit our website. In Minneapolis, Adam Duxter, WCCO 4 News.
In response to what happened, the Police Officers Federation of Minneapolis expressed sympathies to Amir Locke's family, as well as support for the officers, saying policing, particularly with a SWAT team, is a dangerous, high-stress profession where officers are forced to make important split-second decisions in defense of themselves and fellow officers. Minneapolis City Council's Oversight Committee is holding a discussion on no-knock policies tomorrow, and they'll have guests. David Schuman spoke to one of the experts invited to speak at the meeting, and he joins us now live. David?
Well, she was just asked this weekend to present to the committee, but Rachel Moran, a professor at University of St. Thomas School of Law who studies police accountability and reform, will have a lot to say tomorrow. Her role will be educational. She'll go over what Mayor Frey and the state legislature have done to limit no-knock warrants. They're used for two reasons, she told me: when officer safety is a concern with a regular warrant, or when it's likely evidence would be destroyed. But of course, they're risky for the people inside and the officers because of the element of surprise. What happened to Amir Locke is the worst possible outcome.
It's tragic that someone would lose their life. For the city to pay attention to this issue. The reality is, though, a lot of times attention happens after a tragedy. That's not how it should work. It's past time for folks in Minneapolis and Minnesota more broadly to be proactive about thinking about policing rather than reactive.
Also on the agenda to speak tomorrow are the three attorneys representing Amir Locke's family, including Ben Crump. Mayor Frey has been invited as well. Now, Frey is taking heat this weekend from Amir Locke protesters and people on social media for claiming he had banned no-knock warrants when, in fact, he hadn't. His campaign website, jacobfrey.org, listed it as an achievement last year before the mayor's re-election. Many have noticed this weekend it's no longer there. Tonight, his campaign told me the language was removed in October as part of a broader rewrite of many sections of the website. What his policy change in 2020 did do was mostly ban unannounced entries during no-knock warrants. The campaign said in a statement, Mayor Frye's policy reform required officers to announce presence and purpose prior to entry when serving any type of warrant, including no-knock warrants. There were still exceptions to that if there were dangerous situations, like with hostages or domestic assault. The campaign acknowledged the language that was on the website should have been more specific.
Thank you for those details. Appreciate it. In an interview this morning with WCCO, Governor Walz said the state needs to have a zero-tolerance policy on crimes. He says it's possible the state legislature could decide on a statewide moratorium on no-knock warrants.
Sorry it took this tragedy, but there are voices now saying across the political spectrum that these are dangerous. They're dangerous for, as you saw in this case, a young man. They're dangerous for police. And we need to figure out what the best practice is to make sure, one, we're getting violent criminals or folks that we're looking for off the streets, but this young man had nothing to do with the warrant.
The governor also addressed his decision to have the National Guard on call should the protests become violent and unsafe for people and businesses. The Guard is currently stationed in St. Paul, providing assistance to the federal trial underway there. Stay with WCCO and CBS News Minnesota for the latest developments in this case.